Welcome back to another edition of All or Nada, according to Jack, with your host, Jack Toledano. And as you can see, I have a very special guest tonight, Aaron Kupferberg, once again. So,
Hello.
Aaron is playing with some special effects tonight, and in about a minute, you'll kind of understand why. Uh, as you can see, we are going to be doing a dream set list of Deep Purple tonight, and this will be the finale of this series. So, a few weeks ago, Aaron had said, after we went off the air, what did we do? We did Rush, I believe, right?
Yes, we did Rush.
We did Rush, and he said, "Oh, that was fun. Let's do another." So we were thinking of bands that we would want to do that we could both agree on, and then when Aaron mentioned Deep Purple, I'm like, done. Deep Purple it is.
Yeah,
So
and you can see my smoke on the water on the background right here.
yeah, as if you couldn't tell, yes, uh,
Right.
we're pretending that we're in Montreux, Switzerland right now. That
Yeah, and the
it's
place is burning down.
Yeah, it's 40 degrees oh no, maybe 30 degrees Fahrenheit. The air temp is a little warmer, so you got that smoke coming off the water.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
But to not distract things, I'll go to my concert footage. So
Oh, very cool.
here we are with it with Deep Purple in concert because this is a dream set list, you know, and Deep Purple has a lot of live albums, as you know. But you know what? I didn't find my set list quite in the order that they usually do a concert set list. So that's how we
That's why
came up
it's
with.
that's why it's a dream set list.
Yes.
So, you have any other backgrounds you'd like to show us?
Yeah. Actually, let me move to this side. You can see these are all the live albums. I'm gonna move all the way over here.
Okay.
These are all the live albums that I saw for Deep Purple. So there's a lot of live stuff to choose from. And but like I said, even though they kind of mix and match different eras of Deep Purple. You had the Mark One era, the Mark Two era, and then you had everything after 1980
76.
19 yeah, you had everything after that, which was sort of like the Tommy Bolin era, and then you
Right.
had basically everybody reunite for Perfect Strangers, and then they after that they sort of like changed entirely after that, and basically by the late 80s and 90s, it was almost a completely different band as far as I'm concerned. So
I did see them once with that different band with Joe Lynn
yeah,
Turner as the lead vocalist, and yeah,
okay.
but they played one of my favorite songs as the opener, "Burn." So
Oh, nice.
that was really cool. But I have only one back screen change, so let's go to it. There's mine. Oh, ooh! Somebody just shut off a firework. Did you hear
Oh,
that?
geez, no. But at least you got all the studio
Some
albums.
stupid with a flare gun. Too funny.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
very
my
good.
dog's probably scared shitless right now.
Yeah, yeah. Don't
So, as you can
keep away
see,
from the
before we
windows.
get started, um, above above Aaron's head is powerpopaholic.com. That's Aaron's website.
Yeah, and here's a little whoop, wrong side. So here is the website, Power Popaholic. That's a little sample of what the homepage looks like. If you want to learn about power pop bands, hey, that's the place to learn about them. I do reviews every week on it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You can get my book, which is also over there in that little corner there, and check it out. Check it out if you're if you're a metalhead, you might not like some of the stuff here, but if you're open to new music, check it out.
All right, very cool.
All right, let's go back to Deep Purple.
Okay, so yes, let's go. Let's dive into your set list.
Okay, the set list.
Do you want
So
me to share?
sure, I mean,
Just
actually, you
tell
know
me.
what? No, don't share. I wanna go through each song sort of, and because I have a screen for pretty much every
Okay.
song. Like the But so we start the concert off, and I like to start a concert off with probably one of their bigger hits, and also my set list does not have "Smoke on the Water." It's probably the most famous song that Deep Purple has ever done, but it's not my favorite. It's
Footnote to that: I saw them in 1985 with my now wife Susan and Pete and his girlfriend at the time. We saw it was the second show at the Brendan Byrne Arena, and they
Wow,
did not play "Smoke on the Water" in that second show.
very
They
good.
ended the show with what was it? Woman from Tokyo and Speed King.
Okay, good. Those are good because that's towards the end of my list as well. But I
Okay.
start off with Machine Head, and the big hit from there, and my favorite song on Machine Head is Highway Star. Can't beat that like opening riff and that whole thing. It just is iconic, and I really love that song. And I think a song that sort of works into that really nicely is "Flight of the Rat."
Nice.
And "Flight of the Rat," which is I'm trying to remember what album that one's.
That's from
Yeah, that's
In
from In
Rock.
Rock.
In Rock, right
Yeah.
there.
Oop, nope.
There.
There we go. Yes, In Rock. Ooh, yeah. Actually, it's easier when you point as opposed to me clicking these things. Maybe we
Sure.
should just rely on you to point to these things.
Okay. Well, you'll see.
Um,
There's a reason I only go up to Burn, but
okay. Well, I kept going past that, but because I wanted to because there was some really cool stuff that was after that. After Flight of the Rat, I said, "Is there anything in Mark One, the first iteration of Deep Purple, that I would listen to now?" Because honestly, a lot of that stuff is dated.
yeah.
The Mark One stuff from 1960, 68 till 1970, pretty much is kind of dated. Nothing really that I would. I mean, even one or two things that are good are covers of other bands, and but the one song that I really liked from I believe their first album is "Why Didn't Rosemary." It's got that bluesy
Interesting.
kind of feel to it. Um, really nice, and it's a good segue song because "Flight of the Rat" is such a intense song that "Why Didn't Rosemary" kind of like mellows things out a bit. Now, of course, after something mellow, you want to go with something faster, so I went with that with "Speed King" you had mentioned earlier.
Okay.
"Speed King" is also another great song that basically uh, it just sort of takes on a life of its own. It's really cool. Um, and then after that, I had "Strange Kind of Woman," and that one is from
Right above my head.
yes, that's from
Fireball.
Fireball. Fireball.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm always losing track of where the songs are coming from the albums, but the songs. The great thing about Mark II, about that whole era, where you had basically Roger Glover, David Coverdale, Ian Price in place, is you could pick anything
Ian
from
Pace.
that.
Ian Pace.
Ian
You
Pace, yeah,
said,
sorry,
yeah.
is you could place anything from that era and sort of mix and match them together, and they match seamlessly. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to sort of say, oh, you can't necessarily guess if you play it all to somebody what album's on what because it all sounded so good. That was prime Deep Purple as far as I'm concerned, and I think you agree with me on that. After "Strange Kind of Woman," I went in a different direction because I said, what did they do to expand their sound? And there's a song, and I think I brought this up to you last week when we were chatting, a song called "You Can't Do It Right" from 1974's Stormbringer. And
Interesting.
that album, basically, if you listen to the song, it's almost like Wild Cherry. I mean, the bass line is almost like "Play That Funky Music, White Boy." The
Interesting.
bass is
Yeah.
like that, but the rest of the song is all Deep Purple all the way. So,
From
but
what
it's
I understand, that was the album that Blackmore started to get bored, and he didn't like the direction they were going. So
Right. He wanted to change things up, and he did. And that song is probably a good example of how they tried to change things up, how they
right,
tried to make it like different. And another song that's similar to that, but not quite as funky, if you want to use that term, is the next song on my playlist, which is "Might Just Take Your Life,"
nice,
which is it has that same kind of rhythmic bass line, but
right,
it adds a lot more guitar. It's got the organ in there as well, so it does all that.
yeah,
Um,
I
next,
love it.
yeah, next on my playlist, and this is also probably one of my favorite songs. As we move down, my favorites are sort of all of these, but this one I really like to listen to again and again, and it's Rat Bat Blue. And I like the 99
Love that
remix.
song.
The
Yeah,
99 remix is clearer. You can hear the drums better.
very
It's just,
interesting.
yeah, it's just a really, it's a really cool song. And after that, of course, Jack, one of your favorite songs, Burn, from the
Yes.
album Burn, that you're standing over right now.
Well, I was.
Burn. Here we go. Burn.
There you go.
Burn. So
Well, I
I
got
think,
out of the way of Who Do We Think We Are, because that was where Rat Bat Blue is from.
right, Rad Red Blues from Who Do, and there's not too many good songs on Who Do We Think We Are. I think the only other song on that everyone knows, My Woman from Tokyo, and
Well,
and
I
Rad
mean,
Bat Blue.
I think Smooth Dance is pretty cool. What's the other one? Super Trooper's pretty cool. But
Yeah, I mean, I think Super Trooper is
yeah,
very typical. It's
yeah,
sometimes I can tell when the band's like going on autopilot. You can
yeah,
sense this pretty much before on albums like Slaves and Masters, sort of right around right like and Come Taste the Band. I think that whole album on 1975, Come Taste the Band, is they're on autopilot, more or less, in my
right.
opinion. I mean, there's one good song in there that I kind of like that's in my list. Um, but after Burn, um, next on my list is You Fool No One.
Great song. Yeah.
That's a great one from Burn. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good songs on the Burn album. I'll
Nice
play
little
some of
groove
this
there in the
stuff.
beginning.
I'll
Yeah.
play some of it. Um, After Fool No One, then I went to sort of the epic from Machine Head, Space Truckin', which is
Okay.
basically this is where Coverdale screams the loudest. Usually, he's supposed to, and where the organ is just sort of takes over the song midway and just
Hmm.
drives it home. And it's a great and that's why a lot of concerts they played Space Truckin' because it has great parts for each band member throughout the song to play. After that, the one song I did like from Come Taste the Band, Dealer. I
Okay.
gave it, Dealer's what I would call a good Deep Purple song, not a great one, but it's a good one, good enough to include with the rest. Whereas
Okay.
the rest of that album, honestly, like I said, they're coasting. After that, I liked Perfect Strangers from their
Right.
reunion album,
Right.
um, Perfect Strangers, and that's sort of the reunited Mark II version. And the only thing weird about the song, and I mentioned this to you also last week, is
Are
the
we
rhythm is a
talking
little
the
bit like,
actual title track of Perfect
yeah, the
Strangers?
actual title track, Perfect
Okay.
Strangers. You listen to the rhythm, it's a lot, and you listen to the way the phrasing is, it's a lot like Kashmir from Led Zeppelin.
Interesting take.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just sort of listen to them side by side. You'll be
Yeah.
like, wow, I wonder if they're trying to reproduce this.
Yeah.
Um,
I could
but
see
it
that.
still sounds really good. And unlike the hit from that album, which was "Knocking on Your Back Door," this sounds more like classic Deep Purple than that one does.
Hmm.
So that's why I included it. After that, I had sort of "Pictures from Home," which I kind of
Nice.
like as well. It's a really nice song, really good guitar work on that as well, and I'm happy with that. And as an encore, "My Woman from Tokyo," because we start with a really famous song and we end with a really famous song in
All
the encore.
right. Very cool.
And
So now let me ask you, who's singing these songs?
who's singing these songs? I mean, I would hope it would be the core, the Roger Glover, David Coverdale, really, and Ian Price. Anybody short, prior to the White Snake formation, uh,
Right.
I'll give vocal credit to.
Okay. All right. Well, I will say that when you get to mine, there's going to be a big gray area as to who the lead singer is also.
Okay.
But if you look at my albums, you could see I only go from Deep Purple and rock up to Burn. Uh, I needed 6 albums to kind of fill my little wallpaper there, so I grabbed in Made in Japan. But for what I'm going to do is I'm going to share. Uh,
Share the playlists.
yeah, we're going to. All right. You know what? I'll show yours first then.
Yeah, you can show where I am, and this
Yeah.
way,
Yep.
anyone who's interested, go
All
on.
right. So share, and there you have it.
Great.
Highway Star, Flight of the Rat, which I love. Great tune. Why Didn't Rosemary? Speed King, Strange Kind of Woman. You Can't Do It Right. Might Just Take Your Life. Uh, I just I
Turn a little
just
bit.
love that beginning. Rat Bat Blue. I love that beginning also.
Yeah, all good iconic openings.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, that's really cool.
Great riff. I mean, they
Yeah,
they once they found that Smoke in the Water established them as like a riff type band. Like, hey,
right,
people know us by our guitar riffs. They kept trying to do new ones that
right.
that were unique. And Rat Bat Blue, I thought, was another great one.
Yeah. Burn. You don't need to play that. Everybody knows what that is. You
Yep.
Fool No One. Uh, I, uh, I. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. What the hell was that?
That's probably that's an effect before they put the drums up.
Wow. Wow. This is quite a remix. Wow. That was
Yeah, yeah.
quite a
No, it's
remix.
cool. It
Never
is
heard
a lot
that
of the
version.
remixes after 2000. They
Uh-huh.
they attempt to take some of the fuzz off of the amps that were kind
Oh.
of tuned to reverb more.
Oh, okay.
They took some of the reverb out on a lot of those songs just so you could hear what's going on with some of the other players because as much as we love that guitar that Coverdale does and everything,
You
we
mean
want
Richie
I'm
Blackmore?
sorry, Blackmore does
Yeah.
and everything. We want to be able to hear the other instruments as well.
Right. Okay. Okay, so you got Space Truckin', Dealer, Perfect Strangers, Pictures of Home, great tune,
Yep.
Woman from Tokyo. Okay, so we're going to switch over to mine. So
Great.
mine, as I mentioned, goes from Deep Purple and Rock to Burn. Um, so we start with Burn,
Yep. That great
Might
song.
Just Take Your Life. We go right to Speed King, Rat Bat Blue, which you had.
Yep.
Awesome. So I have a little more from Fireball. Like I love this song, No, No,
Oh
No.
no no.
Good song. Yeah. Child in Time. No Deep Purple concert should be without it back in those early
You gotta
days.
have you gotta have. I guess you like the one quiet song where they like tell a story
Yeah.
in there, and then
Right.
nice little break from all the
Yeah.
heavy riffs.
Right. Maybe I'm a Leo. I love that too. You took Pictures of Home. I took Maybe I'm a Leo.
Yeah.
I love that airy type riff. Dun 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 dun. Dun.
Can you play it?
Yeah, sure. Pretty cool.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah. Okay, number 8, the title track, Fireball.
Fireball.
Yes,
Good
great,
track.
another great song, which they didn't play a lot back in the day.
Yeah, I didn't see too many in the, if you go through a lot of the concert set lists,
Right.
you don't see Fireball that much.
I did something that Jethro Tull has done, where they play Aqualung in the middle of the song to get it over with.
Right.
That's what they did with Smoke on the Water.
And you put Smoke on the Water. All
Number
right.
9, yeah. So there are a total of 14 songs and then 3 songs in the encore. So number 10, of course, I had to have Lazy. Uh,
Great
this is
song.
probably one of my favorite songs. And then the live version on in Made in Japan is amazing as well. I mean, John Lord really shines here for me.
Yeah, like I said, like another song from this album is really good is Never Before.
Yes, that's
I mean,
another
it's
great
hard.
tune.
It's hard to pick, because that Machine Head is such an iconic album.
Right,
Almost every song on it. It's one of those albums you can listen to from beginning to end,
right,
and there's nothing bad here at all.
right,
But you just pick the ones that resonate with you the most.
right. So number 11, Lay Down, Stay Down.
Another good one. That
Yep,
was that was one of my alternates.
yep,
I've like 4 good songs on Burn that I really love. Burn, You
right,
Might Just Take Your Life, Lay Down, Stay Down, and You Fool No One.
right,
You included all of them in your
yep,
set list. I only put 3 of them. You put all
right.
4.
You Fool No One, Bloodsucker. So we're gonna end the regular set with 2 songs off of Deep Purple in Rock. I love Bloodsucker. Uh, and then of course number 14, my finale, Hard Loving Man. That is an
Hmm.
amazing killer riff.
Oh, I gotta play that one. Hard Loving Man.
Sure. A lot of pick sweeps there.
I'm surprised you didn't put Flight of the Rat in here, but
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, I could only fit so many. And back in the day, and I love that bass, that John Glover bass there.
yeah,
Roger Glover.
Roger Glover. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, he's like a constant through a lot of
Yeah.
these albums.
And
Um,
he's big. He was big with the songwriting, from what I understand.
yeah, yeah. It's just amazing. You don't think that sometimes people don't pay attention to the bass player as much. You pay attention to the lead singer, lead
Right,
guitarist, but as a bass player, he was incredible. He basically was an anchor for that
yeah,
band.
right. Okay, so 3 encores. One, no surprise here, Highway Star.
Right?
Okay. Second one, back to the Burn album for Mistreated, a song that um, Richie Blackmore would take to Rainbow and play it on stage with Rainbow many times.
What's your opinion of Blackmore's? Do you think that once he started Rainbow and then went back to Deep Purple for a little bit, that he basically changed Deep Purple to sound like Rainbow?
I don't know. I mean, the first album, not really, no. But
Do you
I
think
mean, maybe when he brought in Joel Turner, but
yeah.
I I still thought House of Blue Light was a decent album, or was it the album after House of Blue Light that he came in?
After House of Blue Light, you had Slaves and Masters.
That's the one he came in. Yes,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. But I don't know. I'd have to give that some thought. But
Yeah, I mean,
anyway,
that's a critique of him, that anything all
right.
the stylistic stuff he developed,
Hmm.
um, carried through when he went back to Deep Purple.
I
For
do know that after that Slaves and Masters album, Turner was voted out by the rest of the band, and yeah, and I think that was part of the reason. One of the reasons Blackmore left, because you know what, he doesn't work well in a democracy. Let's put it
Yeah,
that
he
way.
likes to do his own thing and lead
Yeah,
everything. That's true.
yeah.
That's absolutely true. Um, and the one is there any song from later Deep Purple that stuck with you at all? We're talking like '90s Deep Purple? Anything from any of those albums?
Gypsy's Kiss I really love. That's off of Perfect Strangers. That's that's quite cool. I
There is a
like,
yeah.
but again, it's the organ that does it for me. John
That's what
Ward's playing.
yeah.
But
That's what the organ is.
anyway,
The Deep Purple.
rounding out my concert,
Yep.
the finale, Woman from Tokyo, just
Oh,
like
we
you
we
have.
both have the same last
Yep,
song, which is
yep.
awesome. Folks, we didn't plan this. It
No,
just
no,
happened that
we
way
did not.
organically.
So I'm just going to stop sharing. There we go.
All right. I wanted to also mention, from the later albums, the ones that we didn't put on the list, um, from the 90s, I liked on Slaves and Masters, The Cut Runs Deep. I thought that
Uh-huh.
was a pretty good song.
Yep.
Fire in the Basement, good song.
Yes,
It's
that's a great song.
a great
Yes.
song, Fire in the Basement.
They
And,
did play that at Radio City when I
oh, they
saw it.
did play it. Awesome.
Yes.
The
Yep.
the only other on the following album, the Battle Rangers on is it you know I
Yeah.
don't really like the album that much, but I thought Time to Kill was okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay song. And on Perpendicular from 1996,
Perpendicular. Yep.
Perpendicular, I liked Sometimes I Feel Like Screaming. I think that's
Interesting.
like yeah that
Wow.
it doesn't sound like a Deep Purple song really, but I thought it was a nice song.
Okay. Well, honestly, I didn't really listen to too much of their later stuff. I'm more into their core stuff. So
You gotta the way I look at it is
yeah,
think of it as like a different band,
yeah,
like basically it's like don't compare Deep Purple after 1984 with Deep Purple before 1984.
right.
Before 1984 is one band, or even if it's made up of like the same you know five guys, but maybe they replaced one or two along the way. Once it changed in the 90s, it basically became a different band.
Yeah.
And I will only compare, stuff from House of Blue, from Slave and Masters and forward to the modern era.
What I'd really like to do is I'd like to, while we're talking, I want to see what a recent set list might be for Deep Purple. So let's do that. Deep
Okay.
Purple set list. That's really what I'm. So let's see what they did in Athens. Okay, okay, Highway. Okay, so Highway Star, Pictures of Home, No Need to Shout, Into the Fire. Oh, cool. Guitar solo, Uncommon Man, Lazy. When a Blind Man Cries. That's one of those rare singles. Anya, keyboard solo, including the medley of Zorba's Dance and the Children of Piraeus Greek songs. Then they
Okay.
did Perfect Strangers, Space Truckin', and then they closed with Smoke on the Water.
All right.
Encore, Hush, bass solo, and Black Knight. So
I,
they, so for the most part, they still played the older stuff.
yeah, they play a handful of the hits, handful of the older
And
hits.
this particular show was July 7th of last year in Teravibe, Malakasa, Greece. So, so that is a typical set list.
Well, they have. If you go to some of the live albums that came out there, like they have an album Live at Olympia in 1996, and
Right.
the first song is Fireball. And
Interesting. Wow.
yeah, after that, they have Maybe I'm a Leo,
Nice.
Ted the Mechanic, Pictures of Home,
Right.
Black Knight.
Hmm.
So, and of course, Sometimes I Feel Like Screaming. So they add the newer stuff in there,
Right.
but it depends on where they're playing. It seems where they'll add more hits,
Right.
so to speak, from the old era, and then they'll put in stuff from the new era, like the Perpendicular Waltz, which is
Uh-huh.
another.
So let's see if we have any recent, because I'm debating whether I want to. June 29th at Retro C Trop. Where the hell is that? That was just, Tololoi, France. So this is So let's see what they have here. Highway Star, a bit on the side. Hard Loving Man, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Into the Fire, guitar solo. Uncommon Man. That's from that album with that. What the heck's his name?
Common
Bob
Man.
Ezrin helps them produce. Yeah, that album escapes me. I actually. Oh, now
Songs from
what?
the
Now
Elder. I'm
what?
just kidding. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
what?
Songs from the Elder. I'm just kidding.
Songs from the Elder. Yeah. So I said Uncommon Man, then Lazy, Portable Door, Anya, Bleeding Obvious, Space Truckin', Smoke on the Water, uh, Birthday, the Beatles cover? Huh.
Yeah,
Oh, instrumental intro only, played for Ian Pace's birthday. Gotcha.
they've done Beatles. I mean, there's on 1968. They do
Right.
a version of "We Can Work It Out."
Oh, okay.
The Beatles.
Yes,
They've
but
done those kind of covers when they started.
well, they only did that for Ian Pace's birthday.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and then they did Hush and Black Knight again. So yeah, so looks like the set list hasn't changed that much. But so no, so which brings me to this question for you now.
Yeah.
Are you any interest in going to see them on September 1st at Jones Beach?
Sure, they're gonna play
Yeah,
stuff like the
yeah,
classics. If they, as long as the set list is varied enough, where they're
right.
gonna play stuff that we like. Sure, why not?
Well, no, that's good. So as long as it's September 1st, if it's September 3rd,
Is
I
that
will.
what
You,
day is the first? Is that a Saturday
I'm
or
not
Friday?
sure, but
Hold on, let me open up my calendar
my
here.
point being is if I go on September 3rd, you'll be fishing
Sunday. That's the day before
Sunday.
Labor Day,
Oh, okay.
September
Because
1st. All right, that's a good
if
time.
if that show is on September 3rd and we go to that, you'll be fishing my body out of Zach's Bay because that's our anniversary.
All right.
But
Unless you bring your wife.
nah, she's not into that anymore. I
All
think
right,
that's the
cool.
only hard rock concert. That and Sue and I did go to see who was it? Journey with Heart and Cheap Trick at Jones Beach once. That's only two rock concerts we ever went to.
Really?
Yes, really.
She didn't go to any Jethro Tull?
No, are you kidding? I'd sooner set off a bomb in this house than take it to that. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
next if Tull ever comes by, we can always kidnap a good friend Dave and take him with us.
Oh yeah, there you go. And just so you know what Aaron's talking about, Dave is a large brother of ours who hates Jethro Tull, and I've been
Right.
trying to get him on this show forever to talk about why the hatred, why the venom. But
He won't do it.
well, it's just we haven't been able to. It's been a scheduling, nightmare. Every time I've been ready to have him on, he wasn't available, and vice versa. But hope springs eternal. We'll get
Right.
him
You never
sooner
know.
or
You
later.
never
Yep.
know. You never know.
But anyway, anything going on with PowerPopaholic.com?
Well, other than I did some recent interviews with some local artists. I heard also there's a new album by the band Red Cross. I don't know if you've heard of Red Cross.
I don't believe so.
They're,
No.
yeah, they used to tour. They got their start with the Cramps, actually, way back.
Did you say the Cramps? Interesting.
Yeah, and they started as a punk band, and they kind of morphed in the '80s into a power pop band, and they've
Oh
been that
wow.
way for all through the past 40 years. And they have a new album out. My brother told me he listened to it. He said it was amazing. So that's on my to-do list right now
That's cool.
to review that album.
So you being a power pop guy, and me having done live albums of the '70s recently. So see if you can guess what number Cheap Trick at Budokan came in.
Oh, Cheap Trick. Well, you're not a huge Cheap Trick fan.
No,
So
but they were in there. So see if you can guess what number.
wait, so
From one,
top out of the top 10, you mean?
top 20.
Top 20.
Yes.
I would say you would give Budokan 13.
You were close. 15.
15. Oh, wow.
Oh no, 16.
16.
16.
I
Yep.
knew it wasn't in the top 10 for you.
No.
You know,
But hey, it made it. So
it made it as far as live albums like that.
yeah,
Budokan for me is like, it's not as good as Bursting Out, but it's up
right.
there. It's in my top 10.
Actually, Bursting Out was 13. Bursting Out was 13.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Guess you'll have to go check it out.
Yes, I will.
But all right. So that's cool. Good having you on again there, Aaron. And
Thanks.
well,
Thanks
after
anytime.
we yeah, after we get off the air, we'll have to talk about our next project, what we want to do next. So
Yeah, there's plenty of music out there, and we want to educate people on, the best stuff to listen to and get them into our music.
yep. Yes, sir. So this is Jack Toledano speaking for All or Not According to Jack. If you like what I do, please subscribe. Please go over to Aaron's powerpopaholic.com site and check that out. And you know what? You never know. You might actually find something you like. If you're interested in buying his book, he'd be most grateful. It's a good book.
Thank
Even
you, Jack.
even my buddy Mr. Pete Pardo did a review for you. I
That's right.
remember. Yep. All right. So with that being said, have a good night, folks, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.
Take care.